So I've been playing some Mario Maker recently. Part of the reason why I don't upload as much anymore, and the other part being that I'm just running out of ideas for topics, and I'm waiting for both inspiration and motivation. Anyhow, I was thinking about Mario Maker, and there's a couple of things that I notice about it and sometimes get tired of seeing a lot. The first is auto-scrolling levels. A lot of people are making these. You just stand there and you do absolutely nothing. The level pushes you through itself to the end without you even having to touch the controller, and you just sort of watch for a few minutes as Mario goes through all of these contraptions and areas that interact with each other with various laws of game physics and bounce Mario all over the place until he gets to the end. It can be made a little bit more interesting if they play a song or have special sound effects or look really fascinating, but for the most part, they're kind of boring to me. The next thing that I get a lot in Mario games is glitch exploit levels. These are levels where they build the entire level around the use of a glitch in the game. There are a few that people know about. The invisible block glitch, which allows Mario to stand on invisible solid surfaces. There's the stand on spikes, take a hit, and go through a door while you're flashing on your invincibility frames, and you'll be invincible for the rest of the level glitch. People use that one a lot as well. And there's also the glitch where you can go through solid objects by climbing up a vine and breaking a block and then pushing yourself through the wall. And there's also a glitch where if Mario starts on a solid object, he'll continue to pass through solid objects. These are all glitches that are annoying and unfair if you don't know how they work. The next thing that I notice a lot of people do is what I call clustered levels. These are levels where they just pop every kind of enemy in large numbers in a tight space, making it difficult to move without taking a hit. This means that your ability to survive the level is left up to luck, as the enemies are constantly moving and shooting, and you don't really get to have any breathing room or skill involved. Clustering enemies makes the game frustrating or boring. It doesn't make it hard or challenging. A hard or challenging level should include some kind of jumping or running skill. With that being said, it's also annoying when you have precision jumping involved in a level. When a jump has to be so perfect that the running and jumping is down to the exact pixel, not a pixel off in either direction, it can become kind of tedious. Again, not hard or challenging, just merely the fact that you have to have a perfect run. If you miss a pixel perfect jump, you have to do all of the things before you missed that jump all over again, and it can be sort of punishing you for things that you know how to do but didn't do very precisely. Another thing that perplexes me and disappoints me, bores me, and kind of annoys me is when levels are way too easy. If the entire level has no monsters in it whatsoever, or is oversaturated with power-ups, or if it gives you a Starman, a Clown Car, or a Latitude Cloud right at the beginning, and you can fly straight over the level without fighting anything, or, if there's nothing to fight in the first place, it makes me wonder why even post the level. Why would people post levels that are so super easy that they have no challenge in them whatsoever? Why take up the space in your level storage with easy levels? Why use up the time of your day with easy levels? You don't get stars for the number of people who play your level. You get stars for the number of people who are impressed by how interesting your level is. Another thing I don't like in Mario levels is dead ends and forced hits. You should be capable of going through the entire stage without taking a single hit, as well as capable of going through the entire stage without running into an area where you can't turn back and turn yourself around. If there's a vital tool or power-up that you need, you should not be able to permanently lose it. If you fall and miss a jump, you should be able to go back and retake the jump, as opposed to getting stuck in some kind of corner where the walls are too high to jump out of. Every Mario stage should have plenty of opportunities to go back and correct your mistakes, so you don't have to pause and hit start over. Normally starting over wouldn't be a problem, but in the 100 Mario challenge, it takes a life off your counter, and that's not fair. Next is a personal choice. This is bad placement of objects. I personally prefer to see objects attached to solid ground. There's a number of other things that all sort of contribute to the aesthetics of the world. I like to see something where the world visually makes sense. I mean, it looks like you just sort of slapped down pieces of the level without taking any effort to make it look visually pleasing. It seems a little lazy. Overuse of sprites and munchers also annoys me. If you want to create difficulty by preventing people from jumping or moving in certain directions, it's fine to keep sprites and munchers around for that purpose. But a lot of times you can serve the exact same purpose by putting in a solid wall or a pit. Another thing that can be annoying in levels is invisible blocks. While these can make for fun little hidden secrets, it's also kind of annoying to have invisible blocks all over the entire level, and to have every place you jump be an invisible block. Unless the specific challenge of the level is to prevent Mario from jumping, there's just a whole lot of tedious and trollishness in having most or all or many of the squares filled with invisible blocks at every jump that you attempt. Another thing that I don't like and find extremely unfair is when people put monsters right at the starting point, meaning that if Mario doesn't move, he gets killed, forcing you to quickly jump or move a few pixels to the left to avoid the instant death factor. And sometimes people like to put monsters in all directions around Mario, so it's only by some kind of luck or rapid, crazy movement that Mario would actually survive the situation he's in. When you start a level, it takes you a few seconds to process the layout of the level and to think about what your first move is going to be. You don't want to tap right, go half a pixel to the right, and immediately hit a monster. Nor do you want something to fall on top of your head or run itself right into you when you don't move whatsoever. What do I like in Mario games? I like having choices. I like it when a path branches off in 2, 3, or 4 directions and you have to choose to go one way or the other. I also like it when you make these choices and you can pick up new power-ups that allow you to progress in the other directions. I also like having the ability to use Mario's skills, know Mario's moves and be able to do all of his moves, rather than just running and jumping all the time, or even worse, standing still and doing nothing. I like puzzle solving, not so much to the point where it's ridiculous or long or tedious or glitchy, but I do like having something to think about that I can't figure out right from the first encounter. I also like gimmicky ideas like kicking a giant turtle through a long series of bricks that the larger shell will smash the bricks, as opposed to the small shell which doesn't smash the hard bricks. Or if it hits the regular bricks, it hits them one at a time, where a giant shell can take out several in one go and will keep going. Or, like using a boot, or using a giant boot, or using a giant high heel boot with wings on it. Doing spin jumps off walls, doing spin jumps off of thwomps and piranha plants, doing spin jumps off of ghosts that have other characters stacked on them, doing spin jumps off of monsters that climb up walls. Anytime you have a gimmick in a level, it's nice to exploit that gimmick for the entirety of the level. Maybe have a level that's all P-switches, or a level that's all POW blocks, or, just think of one thing that's really fun to do and incorporate it in a large chunk of the level. I like having a natural flow of enemies and objects and difficulty, rather than hitting me with all the enemies on one screen simultaneously, or rather than having the game start off at the highest difficulty level. It's nice to start out easy and get more difficult as you get closer to the end of the level. It's also nice if a level can have some loose sense of storytelling. If you're gonna have a boss fight, force the player to fight the boss. Don't allow the player to jump over the boss or run under the boss and hit the gate. Have the exit guarded by some kind of mechanism that takes a few seconds of thought, or the use of some kind of tool to get past it. It forces you to defeat the boss, clear the area, and then you can stand there and think about how to get to the exit. Whatever you do, don't have pipes and doors that lead to instant death. People want to feel that they can trust your ability to go through a pipe or door and have it come out someplace safe. Nobody wants to go through a pipe or door and have it drop them right into instant death. And a final thing to think about is that it can be fun to have levels where fins loop. By highlighting and copying and pasting, you can copy and paste and paste and paste and paste and paste identical rooms one after the other. When you do this, however, you should have some way to clue people in on the fact that the rooms have actually changed. Anyhow, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching, and good night.